a good move by white, and it's a multi-purpose move. First of all, it opens the diagonal for this queen, which can at any time jump to this b3 square, supporting this bishop. And this pawn on c3 also keeps an eye on the b4 and d4 squares so that black pieces can't enter. And now it's better for white to just castle, or he can also consider the move b4, attacking this bishop. But instead he made an inaccuracy by playing knight to f1. Yes, he wants to reroute his knight to g3, but the problem with that move is before that, black will start attacking the white pieces by pushing d5, and after takes, now comes e4, attacking this knight, and after takes. And now just pause the video and tell me how will you continue as black. Here some of you might be thinking of the move rook takes e4 check, which looks obvious, but the problem with that move is now it helps white to develop his knight to e3, which also stops the check. And since this knight on c6 is under attack, so the only best option for black is knight to e5. But after that, white will firstly exchange the knights, and after that b4, attacking this bishop. And after this bishop goes back to a7, now white will simply first of all castle, and now you can see white is doing great. So that's why after seeing this all in this position, here Aronian finds the best move. Basically, he decides to sacrifice his knight by knight takes e4, and obviously you cannot capture this knight, because suppose if you takes, then bishop to f2 check. And yes, black can also capture this with the knight takes e2, but in chess we have to find the better moves if possible. This is because now you can see black king has only one square left, which is this e2, and now 99% of you will definitely go for knight takes c3, because by this you can see black will be a queen up, which is also fine. But as I said, think of a better move, because there is a move which is better than knight takes c3 check, which is knight to g3 check. And now white is forced to capture this bishop. Then after, simply knight takes h1 check, king to g1, and finally queen takes d1. And by this you can see black successfully grabs the rook and the queen, and now this game is completely winning for black. So that's why in the actual game, after knight takes e4, here Aronian sees that, and that's why he goes for bishop to e3. And as you can see, now white is threatening to capture this bishop on c5, taking benefit of this pinned knight. So that's why after seeing this, he decides to bring back his knight to d6. And now you might be shocked that in this position here, Aronian decides to sacrifice his queen in the exchange of rooks and bishops. And now this position is better for black, because you can see the white king still is in his original place, where and this knight on f1 is still undeveloped, whereas black has successfully castled, and this queen is now active and can anytime go to this g5 square, which targets this g2 pawn. And now it's better for white to bring this rook to d4, which protects this pawn on a4 as well as this pawn on d5. But instead he goes for bishop to d4. Basically he wants to develop his knight to e3, which will target this bishop. But guys, here instead of this move, it's better for black to just push h5, which covers this g4 square, so that white cannot place his bishop to g4, which will target this queen. And now in this position, here black must consider the move bishop to d3, so that he can target this pawn on c4. And suppose if white tries to defend this by pushing b3, now you can see black has two options: either to push a4 so that he can deflect this pawn and grab this c4 pawn, or maybe he can also consider the move b5. Both are good moves, and by this you can see black will successfully destroy the whole queen side of white. But in the actual game, after the move bishop takes h5, here he made a mistake by playing b5, and the problem with that move is after takes and takes, now white will give a check from e8 square. And guys, now it's better for black to sacrifice his bishop by bishop takes h3. and you cannot grab this bishop because of queen takes h5. And now look at these scattered pawns of white, and by this clearly you can see this is completely winning for black. But in the actual game, after bishop to c3, here Gukesh made a mistake by capturing this pawn on b5, allowing white to capture this bishop on f7, and capture this pawn on f7. And now you can see these powerful bishops which is eyeing on the black king supported by this rook. And in this position, Gukesh resigned because you can see now no one can stop this pawn from promotion. This is because suppose if game continues like king to f5 or discover check by this queen, simply f7, queen to h4. If he tries to stop this, simply h8 equal to queen, queen to g5 and rook to e8. And in the next move, white will also promote his another pawn. And yep, that's all. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.